Imagine for a moment that the entire universe is a field of limitless possibilities, a vast ocean of potential outcomes waiting for a signal to become real. In the quantum world, scientists have discovered something astonishing. The very act of observation can influence whether an electron behaves like a wave or a particle. In simpler terms, attention changes reality. This scientific marvel is more than just an abstract theory. It hints at a deeper truth that sages and mystics have taught for centuries. Your mind, your intentions, and your vibration play a pivotal role in shaping the reality you experience. Welcome to Quantum Mindset Mastery. Accelerate your ability to manifest anything. This book is a gentle guide and immersive journey into the union of science and spirit, blending the latest understandings of the mind and universe with timeless wisdom of the heart and soul. Here, we will explore how mindset rewiring, quantum manifestation, and vibrational alignment can transform your life from the inside out. You will discover that manifesting your desires isn't about magic or wishful thinking. It's about aligning with the fundamental principles of how reality works, both on a practical psychological level and an energetic quantum level. Over the chapters ahead, you'll be invited to delve deep into yourself and the fabric of reality through a series of themes or principles. Each section, such as rewriting the subconscious, activating the observer effect, and embodying future realities, builds upon the last, guiding you step by step toward a mindset that can manifest anything you truly desire. Rather than a rigid daily program, this journey flows organically by concept. You'll find gentle narration to spark your imagination, real-life inspired metaphors and parables to illuminate abstract ideas, and practical exercises and techniques to ground these concepts into your daily life. As you read, you may encounter visualization practices where you'll close your eyes and imagine new possibilities. Introspective journaling prompts to help you rewrite old mental scripts, affirmations to reprogram your subconscious beliefs, and vibrational practices to raise your energy. I encourage you to actively engage with these exercises, not just read them. Take your time with each. This is not a race but a personal journey. Have a notebook or journal ready, or simply pause to reflect when prompted. The more wholeheartedly you participate, the more transformative your experience will be. The tone of this book is intentionally gentle and guiding, like a friend or mentor walking beside you. At times, you might feel as if you are listening to a calming narrative or a meditation. Other times, you'll feel the spark of insight as a concept clicks through a story or metaphor that resonates with your own life. By blending the mystical, spiritual wisdom, intuition, energy work with the scientific, psychology, neuroscience, quantum physics principles, we aim to engage both your heart and mind. This holistic approach helps to create real, lasting change. Throughout this journey, remember a key principle. You are the creator of your experience. You hold more power than you may realize. The quantum mindset is about reclaiming that power with awareness and love. It means moving from a victim of circumstances to a conscious architect of your life. Every thought, emotion, and belief is like a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. As you learn to master these inner tools, you begin to accelerate the process of manifestation, drawing your dreams into your life with greater ease and speed. No matter where you are starting from, whether you're new to these concepts or have been on a spiritual path for years, approach this book with an open mind and playful curiosity. Some ideas might feel wonderfully familiar, while others may challenge you to see things in a new light. Allow yourself to experiment with these techniques and see what unfolds. Your journey is unique, and so will be your results. But trust that nothing you practice here will ever be wasted. Even small shifts in mindset can lead to profound changes over time, much like a slight turn of the compass can alter an entire voyage. Let's begin this adventure of quantum mindset mastery. Step by step, breath by breath, thought by thought, you will learn to dance with the universe in a new way. Get comfortable, take a deep breath, and imagine the excitement of opening a door to a new chapter of your life. On the other side of that door lies a field of infinite possibilities, and with each chapter that follows, we will journey farther into that field, together. Are you ready to unlock the next level of your reality? Let's turn the page and find out. Rewriting in a bustling village on the edge of a desert, a travelling circus had pitched its colourful tents. One warm evening, a curious young man named Raj wandered behind the tents after the show. There he found the circus elephants resting peacefully. What struck Raj most was that each mighty elephant was tied to a small wooden stake in the ground by nothing more than a thin rope. No chains, no cages, just a simple rope looped around one massive foot. Raj had seen these elephants perform astonishing feats under the big top, lifting logs carrying multiple performers, yet here they stood, held in place by a rope that any of them could snap in an instant. Perplexed, Raj approached the elephant trainer, an old man humming a gentle tune as he cleaned up the area. "Sir," Raj asked, "why do these elephants never attempt to break free? That rope can't possibly hold them if they wanted to go." The trainer smiled kindly and motioned for Raj to sit on a nearby stool. "When these elephants were very young and much smaller," the trainer began, "we used the same type of rope to tie them. At that age it was strong enough to hold them. They tugged and pulled, but the rope would not yield. They learned early on that they could not break free, so they eventually stopped trying." Raj listened intently as the trainer continued. "Now that they're grown, they are powerful enough to break the rope easily, but they don't believe they can. In their minds, that rope still holds them as it did when they were infants, so they never even try." Raj felt a mix of awe and sadness as he glanced back at the gentle giants, swaying quietly under the dim lantern light. These magnificent creatures were capable of freedom, yet a belief instilled in them years ago kept them bound in place. "We humans," the trainer added, wiping his hands, "often have our own ropes, beliefs from childhood or yesterday's failures that keep us from moving forward, even when we've long since outgrown them. The invisible script of the mind. Just like those elephants, each of us carries invisible scripts in our subconscious mind, beliefs about what we can or cannot do, what we deserve, and how the world works. These beliefs, often formed in childhood or through repeated experiences, become the mental ropes that either anchor us or hold us back. This subconscious programming operates quietly beneath our everyday thoughts. We might not even realize it's there. Yet it influences every choice we make and every chance we take or don't take. Psychologists say that by the time we're adults, a large portion of our thoughts and actions are run by these subconscious patterns, like an autopilot guiding our lives. Take a moment to reflect. Are there areas in your life where you feel stuck? Perhaps you find yourself repeating the same frustrating patterns in relationships or struggling with money no matter what you do. Often, at the root of these patterns is a limiting belief, quietly whispering a false story. I am not good enough to be loved deeply, or I can't handle wealth, money is trouble, or people can't be trusted. Such beliefs are usually learned early on, like the young elephant learning about the rope. We accept these ideas as truth, and then life seems to prove them to us over and over, because our subconscious mind will seek evidence to confirm what it already believes. This is sometimes called a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe something, you unknowingly act and perceive in ways that make it come true. The good news is that a belief, no matter how deeply ingrained, is not a fixed destiny. It's simply a thought you keep thinking, a mental habit. And habits can be changed. Your brain is not a stone tablet with unchangeable carvings. It's more like soft clay, capable of being reshaped. Neuroscientists refer to this as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. When you intentionally practice new ways of thinking, you forge new pathways in your brain. Over time, the old limiting pathways weaken from disuse, like an abandoned trail in the woods growing over, while the empowering pathways become the new default roadways for your thoughts, rewriting your inner story. Changing a deep-seated belief starts with awareness. You cannot change what you do not realize is there. So begin by identifying one limiting belief that has held you back. Think of an aspect of your life where you feel unfulfilled or continuously challenged. Ask yourself, what would someone have to believe in order to keep experiencing this pattern? Be honest and gentle with yourself as you uncover these mental scripts. You might jot down thoughts that come up, even if they sound silly or harsh. For instance, you might write, I believe I always mess up good opportunities, or I feel like I'm not deserving of happiness. These statements are not your truth. They are a reflection of a story your mind picked up along the way. And just as a story can be edited or rewritten, so can these beliefs. Once you have identified a limiting belief, it's time to question and rewrite it. One effective method is to use affirmations, which are positive, present-tense statements that represent the new belief you want to instill. Think of an affirmation as the opposite of the limiting belief, stated as if it's already true. If your old belief is, I'll never have enough, your new affirmation might be, I live in a universe of abundance. I always have more than enough. If the old belief is, I'm unlovable, the new affirmation could be, I deeply love and accept myself. I attract love easily. At first, saying these affirmations might feel odd or untrue. That's natural. Remember, you're challenging a long-held assumption, so it takes repetition and feeling to break the old pattern. Repetition is key. Just as the old belief was ingrained through repeated experiences or messages, the new belief needs to be impressed on your mind consistently. You might repeat your affirmations aloud each morning or write them in a journal every night. Speak them while looking at yourself in the mirror, to add even more power, we'll dive deeper into mirror work in the next chapter. Imagine the affirmations as seeds. Each time you repeat one with intention, you're planting that seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious. It may not sprout overnight, but with nourishment and time, it will take root and grow. It can also help to evoke the feeling of the new belief as you affirm it. Feel the relief, joy, or empowerment as you say, "I am worthy," even if part of you is still catching up to that idea. Emotion acts like water and sunlight for those seeds, encouraging them to grow faster. While affirmations are a powerful tool, they're not the only way to rewrite your inner story. Visualizing yourself acting or experiencing life as if the new belief were true can amplify the effect. For example, if your new belief is about confidence, regularly imagine yourself walking into a room with your head held high, speaking clearly, and feeling at ease. Your subconscious mind responds to images and emotions, not just words. So when you vividly picture and feel yourself in the new reality, your brain starts to become familiar with it and believes, "This is who I am now." Over time, this inner rehearsal makes it natural to behave differently outwardly, creating real changes in your life that reflect the new belief. Consider Emma, who always struggled with public speaking. In school, a single embarrassing moment of forgetting her lines made her conclude, "I'm just a terrible speaker." That belief stuck with her into adulthood. When Emma's job eventually required her to lead presentations, she would become physically ill with anxiety. After learning about subconscious beliefs, she decided to change her inner narrative. Her limiting belief was clear: "I'm a terrible speaker. I'll always mess up." She crafted a new affirmation: "I communicate clearly and confidently. I have valuable things to share." Every morning, Emma stood in front of her bathroom mirror, looked into her own eyes, and said this affirmation out loud. She also spent a few minutes each night visualizing herself speaking to a small, friendly audience, feeling calm and competent. At first, it felt awkward. Some days she didn't believe herself at all, but she kept at it, day after day. After several weeks, Emma noticed a shift. She volunteered an idea in a meeting without the usual pounding heart. A month later, she successfully led a short presentation to her team. It wasn't perfect, but she didn't freeze up. She even enjoyed sharing her knowledge. Her colleagues responded positively. This small victory reinforced her new belief. Over the next few months, Emma's confidence grew exponentially. She found herself actually looking forward to an opportunity to speak at a larger company event. Emma had, through patience and practice, rewritten her story. She was no longer the woman silenced by one bad memory. She had become the confident communicator she envisioned. You too can create this kind of shift. Rewriting the subconscious isn't always an overnight miracle. It's a gentle reconditioning. Just as a compassionate teacher would help a fearful student build knowledge step by step, you are coaching your own mind to understand a new truth. Be patient and consistent. Some days you might feel the old doubt creeping in. Treat it not as a failure, but as a reminder to reaffirm the truth of your potential. Over time, the new belief will solidify, and you'll notice your actions and experiences changing to match it. That's the beauty of this inner work. Change within, and the world around you shifts as well. Exercise, uncover, and reframe a limiting belief. Let's put this into practice with a simple exercise. Take out your journal or a piece of paper and follow these steps. 1. Identify an area of struggle. Write down one area of your life where you feel held back or frustrated, e.g. as career advancement, relationships, health. 2. Find the belief. Ask yourself, what might I believe about myself or this situation that's creating this block? Write down whatever comes to mind, even if it sounds critical or irrational. You might discover beliefs like, I'm not talented enough, I always get hurt, or change is too hard for me. 3. Challenge the belief. Now, question the belief. Is it absolutely true? Can you find evidence against it? Often you'll realize the belief is a generalization or stems from a specific incident. Write down at least one reason the belief might not be true. For example, I did succeed at X once, or people do appreciate me sometimes. 4. Create a new belief. Formulate an empowering affirmation that is the opposite of the limiting belief, in a positive way. Ensure it's present tense and personal. For example, replace I'm not talented enough with I am capable and continually improving my talents, or I always get hurt with I am deserving of healthy, loving relationships. Write this new belief down. 5. Engage with the new belief daily. Commit to a routine to reinforce your chosen affirmation. Say it out loud to yourself every morning or night. Bonus: do this while looking into your eyes in the mirror. You can also write it multiple times or set reminders on your phone. Each time you do this, take a moment to really feel the truth of the words, as if they are already reality. 6. Visualize it. Close your eyes and imagine one scenario in which this new belief is vividly true. See yourself succeeding or feeling happy in a situation that used to trouble you. Imagine it as if you're watching a scene in a movie where you are the star, acting with the confidence or ease of your new belief. 7. Observe changes. Over the next days and weeks, notice any shifts, big or small. Perhaps you'll react differently to an old trigger, or new opportunities will appear. Celebrate these changes as evidence that your mindset is transforming. To further support your subconscious rewiring, here are some general affirmations you can use or modify to suit your needs. Pick one or two that resonate or craft your own. I am worthy of all the good things I desire. I choose to believe in my unlimited potential. Every day I am growing and evolving for the better. I deserve love, success, and happiness. I release old doubts and welcome new empowering beliefs. I trust myself to make the right choices. I am more powerful than any fear or obstacle. As you affirm these statements and engage in the exercises, you're doing more than just saying nice words. You're retraining your mind. Remember the elephants. A simple rope was enough to limit their world because of what they believed. By changing your beliefs, you are metaphorically breaking those ropes and stepping into a wider world of possibilities. Rewriting the subconscious is the foundation of the quantum mindset. With your inner script becoming more aligned with your dreams, you're preparing the ground for all the manifestations to come. Now, with this foundation laid, let's move on to the next principle of creation, the power of your focus and observation. Mirror work and self-love. Every night, Sophia would stand in front of her bedroom mirror and sigh. By all external measures, she was doing well in life. She had a decent job, supportive friends, and a warm home. Yet, when Sophia looked at her own reflection, all she saw were flaws. Her mind would immediately point out the dark circles under her eyes, the extra weight she wanted to lose, the mistakes she made at work that day. Her inner voice, harsh and critical, would whisper, "You're not good enough. Look at you." One evening, after a particularly difficult day of self-doubt, Sophia remembered an article she had read about a practice called mirror work. The idea was simple but profound. Stand before a mirror, look deeply into your own eyes and speak kindly to yourself, as you would to someone you love. At first, Sophia felt silly. The next morning, she decided to try it in a small way. She closed the bathroom door behind her for privacy, looked at her reflection and mustered a gentle, "Good morning, I love you," to herself. Immediately, her throat tightened and tears filled her eyes. It was as if the words didn't belong, bouncing off the mirror and back at her with disbelief. She quickly looked away, feeling vulnerable and awkward, but something in that brief moment struck a chord. Sophia realized just how seldom she treated herself with the kindness she readily gave others. Determined to change this, she made a quiet commitment to herself. Each day, for at least a few minutes, she would practice talking lovingly to her reflection, no matter how uncomfortable it felt. On the second day, her voice quivered as she said, "You are worthy of good things," to the woman in the mirror who still looked unconvinced. On the third day, she felt a flash of frustration and almost gave up, thinking it wasn't working. But she remembered the article's advice to be patient. So she continued. Day after day, Sophia returned to the mirror. Some days she spoke boldly, other days she could barely whisper, but she kept showing up for herself. She complimented her own eyes, thanked her body for carrying her through life, and even forgave herself out loud for past mistakes that she realized she had been holding on to. After a couple of weeks, Sophia noticed a shift. One morning, she caught her reflection smiling softly back at her as she said, "I am proud of how far you've come." The words felt more real, more true. The critical voice that once automatically listed her flaws had grown quieter, replaced by a new voice, gentler, encouraging. She found that throughout the day, negative thoughts about herself had less of a grip on her. In a meeting at work, when someone pointed out an error she made, she didn't spiral into self-criticism as usual. Instead, she calmly acknowledged the oversight and reminded herself it didn't define her worth or abilities. Her colleagues noticed her newfound poise. One even said, "There's something different about you lately," in a good way. Sophia knew the difference. She was finally treating herself as a friend rather than an enemy. The mirror had become not a judge, but a tool for self-acceptance. The power of self-compassion. Sophia's story is a testament to the transformative power of self-love and self-compassion. Many of us carry wounds or insecurities that make looking in the mirror an emotionally charged experience. We might use that mirror to zoom in on perceived imperfections, much as we magnify our flaws in our mind's eye. But what if the mirror could become a portal to healing instead of self-judgment? The practice of mirror work, introduced by self-love pioneers like Louise Hay, is designed to do exactly that. Gently shift our internal dialogue from criticism to love. Why is self-love so important in the journey of manifestation? Because at the core of creating a life you desire is a belief in your own worthiness to have it. If part of you is convinced you aren't good enough or that you don't deserve happiness, you'll unconsciously sabotage opportunities or push away the very things you want. Think of it this way: the universe, or life, can only give you what you are ready to receive. Cultivating self-love increases your capacity to receive good. It elevates your vibration to match the experiences that align with love, joy, and fulfillment. In the language of energy, love is one of the highest frequencies. When you consistently nurture love for yourself, you are tuning your whole being to a higher channel, much like turning the dial to a station that plays harmonious music rather than static. Yet self-love doesn't always come naturally. In fact, for many, it feels like a radical act. We are taught to be kind to others, but not always to ourselves. We may fear that self-love is selfish or vain, but in truth, self-love is the foundation for loving others and life more fully. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you cultivate compassion within, you have more compassion to give. Just as importantly, loving yourself means you set healthier boundaries and make choices that honor you, which in turn creates a life that feels better and manifests better outcomes. What is mirror work? Mirror work is a simple yet powerful technique. You use your reflection as a focal point to reinforce positive beliefs and kind messages to yourself. It may feel awkward at first. After all, when was the last time you earnestly looked into your own eyes and spoke words of love or encouragement? For many, it's an entirely new experience. The reason this practice works so profoundly is that eye contact establishes a deep connection. We are used to giving reassurance or love through eye contact to others. Doing it with oneself creates a similar deep assurance internally. When you say, "I love you," or "I am proud of you" to your own reflection, you're addressing the inner child who has longed to hear these words. Mirrors can be symbolic. There's a saying that our outer world mirrors our inner world. If we can make peace and friendship with the person in the mirror, that change reflects outward into everything else. At first, the mirror might reflect discomfort or emotional pain, like when Sophia cried on day 1, because it surfaces all the unspoken feelings we carry. That's a sign of progress, not failure. It's the old wounds coming up to be acknowledged and healed. By staying with the practice, by continuing to meet your own gaze with kindness, you effectively reparent yourself, giving yourself the encouragement and unconditional acceptance you might have missed in the past. Practicing self-love daily. The beautiful thing about mirror work is that it doesn't take much time, but the effects ripple out to every part of life. As you consistently practice, you'll likely notice changes. Perhaps you speak up more, or treat your body with more care, or simply feel a lighter mood. Things that used to trigger shame or anger might soften. This is because you've built a new inner ally, the voice of self-compassion. Let's explore some ways to practice mirror work and nurture self-love. Exercise. Mirror magic for self-love. Try the following steps, ideally each day for the next week, and beyond if you can. 1. Find a quiet moment. Stand in front of a mirror when you have a few minutes alone. Morning or bedtime are great times. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Relax your shoulders. 2. Make eye contact. Look into your own eyes. This might feel uncomfortable at first. That's okay. Notice any emotions that come up. You might feel silly, sad or self-conscious. Just observe without judgment. 3. Speak kind words. Start with a simple affirmation or phrase. You can use something general like "I love you" or "I am learning to love you" if the first one is too hard right now. Other options are "You are worthy of happiness" or "You are doing your best and I am proud of you." Say it slowly and sincerely. If your voice trembles or you get emotional, pause and breathe. Those feelings are part of the healing. 4. Be consistent. Repeat the phrases a few times. Try to do this for at least a minute or two. It's okay if it feels mechanical at first. Consistency is more important than intensity. You're training a new muscle and it gets easier with repetition. 5. Acknowledge progress. After several days, notice how it feels compared to the first time. Has the level of discomfort shifted? Are you starting to believe the words, "even a little"? Write down any changes you notice in your journal. It could be anything from "it felt slightly easier today" to "I actually smiled at myself." Those are signs your relationship with yourself is improving. 6. Expand the dialogue, optional. As you get comfortable, try expanding what you say. Compliment yourself on something you did recently, or forgive yourself for a mistake by saying, "I forgive you for," and then remind yourself, you are human and you are still worthy of love. You can also speak to your younger self. Imagine speaking to the child version of you that might still be hurting. Tell that child everything they needed to hear. In addition to mirror work, simply reading or reciting self-love affirmations throughout your day can reinforce this new mindset. Here are some you can try. You might write these on sticky notes and place them around your mirror or home as gentle reminders. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I am worthy of love, respect, and kindness, especially from myself. I honor my journey and trust the person I am becoming. I forgive myself for past mistakes and I release any guilt or shame. I deserve the same compassion I give to others. My self-love grows stronger every day. I am whole and I am enough, just as I am right now. As you practice self-love and mirror work, remember Sophia and her journey. It may start with tears or discomfort, but those moments are like rain nourishing the soil. Over time, you'll see the blossoms of confidence, peace, and self-respect emerge. With a foundation of genuine love for yourself, you're not only happier, you also become an energetic match for more love and goodness to flow into your life. Now that we've strengthened your relationship with yourself, let's explore how your focus and attention influence the reality around you. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the fascinating interplay between observation and manifestation, often described through the lens of quantum physics. Activating the observer effect. On the outskirts of a small town lived two neighbors, Daniel and Victor, who both loved gardening. Each spring they planted vegetables in their adjacent plots. From the outside, their gardens were nearly identical plots of soil receiving the same sunlight and rain. But Daniel and Victor had very different ways of tending to their gardens and very different outlooks on life. Every morning, Daniel walked through his garden with appreciation in his heart. He noticed the tiny sprouts poking through the soil and smiled at each one. He gently pulled weeds when he saw them, but he didn't linger on them. Instead, he focused on how well his tomatoes were growing or how the sun felt warm on his face. When a plant looked weak, Daniel spoke encouragingly to it. He'd once read that plants responded to energy and voice. He genuinely expected his garden to flourish, and his daily walks were filled with visions of ripe cucumbers and bright red tomatoes. Daniel often said to himself, "This garden is full of life and abundance." Next door, Victor started each morning by scrutinizing his garden for problems. His mind homed in on every brown leaf or any sign of pests. He muttered about the dry spell last week and fretted that it ruined the lettuce. If he spotted a weed, he would exclaim, "These weeds are going to choke everything." Even when most of the seedlings were coming up green and healthy, Victor paid little attention to those. His eyes zeroed in on the one or two that struggled. He often sighed, telling anyone who passed by, "I bet this year's crop will be disappointing, just watch." As summer went on, Daniel's garden became a lush patch of green, yielding basket after basket of vegetables. Victor's, while not a complete failure, fared far worse. His plants were spindly and many succumbed to pests. One evening, as Victor stood at the fence looking at Daniel picking a big zucchini, he called out, "How is it that you always have such luck with your garden? We have the same soil and weather." Daniel wiped his brow and replied, "It's not about luck, friend. I just give my attention to the good I want to see. The rest I address if I must, but I don't let it consume me." Victor frowned, not quite understanding. Daniel continued kindly, "Think of it like this. Our attention is like water. Wherever we pour it, things grow. You've been watering the weeds." Victor fell silent, realizing the truth in his neighbor's simple metaphor. All season, he had indeed been unintentionally watering the weeds with his worry and focus on problems, while Daniel had been nourishing his crops with optimism and attention. It was a lesson he would not forget, that what we focus on consistently can flourish, for better or for worse. The lens of your attention. The tale of Daniel and Victor's gardens illustrates a powerful principle. Energy flows where attention goes. In our lives, we are constantly watering certain experiences with our focus. If we fixate on problems, fears, and what's lacking, those are the things that grow in our perception and often in reality. If instead we give our energy to possibilities, solutions, and what's going well, we nurture those aspects and invite more of them into our experience. This isn't just a motivational saying, it has roots in both psychology and the very nature of reality studied in quantum physics. On the psychological side, our brains have a mechanism called the reticular activating system, RAS, which acts like a filter, highlighting what is important to us and filtering out what is not. Have you ever learned a new word and then suddenly noticed it everywhere? Or decided on a certain model of car to buy and then saw that car on the road all the time? That's your RAS at work. The things we consistently focus on tell our brain, this is important, so the brain diligently brings related information to our attention. If you constantly think about your stresses, your brain will be adept at noticing every little additional stressor around, and might overlook signs of relief or joy. Conversely, if you make a habit of focusing on what you're grateful for or excited about, you'll start seeing more reasons to feel grateful and excited. Now, let's bridge this with the science of the very small, quantum physics. There's a famous experiment known as the double slit experiment that revealed something mind-bending. The mere act of observation seems to affect whether particles behave like waves or particles. In essence, the experiment suggested that at a fundamental level, Reality can manifest differently depending on an observer's presence or what the observer is looking for. While the full implications of this are still debated by scientists, many have drawn a beautiful parallel to our everyday life. Our expectations and attention can influence our reality. This idea is often referred to as the observer effect in a metaphoric sense when talking about consciousness and manifestation. We are not passive experiencers of a fixed world. We are participants in the unfolding of reality. What this means for you is empowering. It suggests that by becoming more conscious of where you direct your attention, you can change how life unfolds for you. If you look for evidence that people are kind, you'll start to notice acts of kindness everywhere. If you dwell on the notion that nothing ever works out for me, you might overlook or even inadvertently sabotage opportunities that could have worked out. It's as though each of us wears a pair of tinted glasses. The color of the tint is our dominant focus. Through red-tinted glasses, the world will appear red, but you have the power to change the glasses. Choosing your focus deliberately, becoming a master of the observer effect in your life, starts with mindful awareness of your thoughts. Throughout your day, take gentle notice of where your mental spotlight is shining. Are you replaying worries or envisioning success? Are you noticing what you appreciate or only what you want to fix? This isn't about ignoring problems or living in denial. It's about shifting the balance towards solutions and positive possibilities so that they have a chance to grow. A helpful technique is what some call pivoting. When you catch yourself focused on a negative thought or feeling, acknowledge it, and then gently guide your focus to what you do want instead. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm so overwhelmed by this project," pause and pivot. What outcome do you want? Perhaps it's, "I would like to handle this project with clarity and ease." Then spend a bit of time imagining or affirming that outcome. Step by step, I will find my flow and complete this with ease. This isn't about instant perfection, but about consciously turning your mental ship in a more empowering direction, the way a captain would adjust course to reach a desired destination. Another approach is to practice selective focus. Choose a positive idea or goal each morning to be your theme of the day. You might decide, "Today I will look for signs of progress in my work," or "I will notice and appreciate every act of kindness around me." With that intention set, your mind will be primed to seek those things out. It's like telling your RAS, "Highlight this for me." You can even make a game of it. Challenge yourself to find as many things that fit your positive focus as possible, like a scavenger hunt for goodness. People often find that when they do this, not only do they notice pre-existing goodness, but new pleasant surprises seem to occur as if responding to their outlook, whether it's life responding or simply one's awakened awareness. The effect is a happier, more optimistic day. Exercise. Focus shift experiment. Let's try a practical experiment to see the observer effect in action in your daily life. 1. Set a daily focus. Choose one positive thing to focus on for an entire day. For example, decide that you'll look for things to be grateful for, or instances of people helping each other, or perhaps red birds, anything pleasant or neutral that you wouldn't mind seeing more of. 2. Write it down. In the morning, jot down your chosen focus in your journal or a note on your phone. Today, I intend to notice your focus. 3. Observe and tally. As you go about your day, consciously keep an eye out for your chosen focus. Each time you notice an example that urges you witness a kind act, or you see a red bird land near you, or you find something to appreciate, make a mental note or tally mark in your journal later. 4. Reflect. At the end of the day, reflect on what you observed. How many instances did you count? How did staying focused on that idea influence your mood or the way the day went? Did you find that by expecting to see goodness, or whatever you chose, you experienced more of it? 5. Optional. Compare days. If you like, try the experiment again on another day with a different focus, or even a negative focus for contrast. For example, spend one day, not too often, looking for annoyances or complaining internally, not recommended as a steady diet, but enlightening as a one-time experiment, and see how that day feels compared to the day you deliberately looked for positives. This comparison can be very eye-opening. To reinforce a positive focus in your subconscious, here are some empowering affirmations around the power of attention. I direct my attention to what is life-giving and positive. What I focus on grows, so I choose to focus on my goals and blessings. I have the power to shift my perspective in any moment. I see opportunities and solutions everywhere I look. By expecting good things, I invite good things into my life. My focused intentions shape my reality. By actively applying the observer effect in your life, you step into the driver's seat of your experience. You are no longer merely reacting to whatever grabs your attention. You are guiding your attention toward the experiences you want to cultivate. This doesn't mean challenges won't arise, but it means you won't let them dominate your reality. Like Daniel choosing to water the plants and not the weeds, you choose to nurture the thoughts and visions that serve your highest good. As we continue our journey, we'll explore another key aspect of manifestation that works hand in hand with focus: the vibration and energy you bring into each moment. In the next chapter, we'll enter the vortex of vibrational alignment, where your feelings become the fertile ground for your desires to take root. Vibrational alignment, entering the vortex. In a quiet countryside house, a young girl named Asha sat on the floor by her grandfather's old radio. The radio was a big wooden vintage piece of furniture with a dial that had to be turned ever so carefully to tune into a station. Every Sunday night, Asha loved to listen to a special music program that played her grandmother's favourite melodies from years past. But tonight, as the program was about to start, all she could hear was static and faint garbles of music. Her grandfather watched as Asha furrowed her brow and leaned closer to the speaker, twisting the dial back and forth in frustration. Static, a burst of a violin, then static again. Asha let out a sigh. "It's no use, I just can't find the station." Grandfather smiled gently and put a hand on her shoulder. "Take a deep breath," he suggested. "Go slowly. Feel for it." Asha nodded, slowing her breath and turning the knob with delicate adjustments. The static began to clear up bit by bit. There were moments when the signal almost came through, then faded. She persisted, fine-tuning with the slightest movements of her fingers. Suddenly, the static gave way to a rich, clear sound, an orchestra playing a gentle waltz, the living room filled with music. Asha beamed with joy, and her grandfather gave her an approving nod. "You see," he said, "the music was there all along, broadcasting invisibly through the air. We just needed to tune in to the right frequency." He explained to Asha that the radio had to match the exact frequency of the station signal to catch it clearly. Being just a little off would only bring noise. That night, as Asha listened to the beautiful songs, she thought about what her grandfather said. It felt almost magical that the songs had been surrounding them unseen, and with a small shift they could suddenly hear them. She wondered what else might be in the air around her, waiting for the right tuning to be heard or seen. Everything is energy. What Asha discovered with the radio is a powerful metaphor for life. In our universe, everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. This isn't just a spiritual saying. Physics tells us that atoms, the building blocks of matter, are in constant motion. Our thoughts and emotions aren't solid objects, but they are forms of energy too, subtle, invisible frequencies that interact with the world around us. Just like a radio station broadcasts music on a specific frequency, the experiences and outcomes in life can be thought of as broadcasting on the frequencies of certain emotions and thoughts. To tune in to the reality you desire, you have to match its frequency with your own energy state, which is largely determined by how you feel. In simpler terms, like attracts like. A joyful mindset tends to attract more reasons to be joyful, while a fearful mindset may attract more things to fear. You may have noticed how a person who is consistently upbeat often seems to encounter helpful people and lucky breaks, whereas someone who is constantly complaining might seem to face endless obstacles. This isn't a coincidence or mere perception bias. On an energetic level, we are engaging with the field of possibilities around us. When your overall vibration, meaning the emotional state and energy you radiate, is uplifted and positive, you're essentially broadcasting on a channel where positive things are playing. People and opportunities that match that positive energy are more likely to find their way to you. Conversely, when you dwell in a low, pessimistic or angry vibration, you might find yourself tuned into a channel of static and discord, where challenges persist. Entering the vortex. Spiritual teachers Esther and Jerry Hicks, through their work with Abraham, a source of channeled wisdom, use a term called the vortex to describe the state of perfect alignment with your desires and well-being. Imagine the vortex as a swirling vortex of energy, like a gentle tornado, that contains all the things you have ever wished for in their vibrational form. When you are feeling good, happy, loving, appreciative, passionate, you are in essence entering that vortex. In that state, you and your desires are on the same frequency, just like Asha's radio and the music station. In the vortex, you feel ease and flow. You might notice synchronicities, where the right people or ideas just pop into your experience at the right time. Being in alignment is not something that only happens by chance. It's a state you can learn to cultivate deliberately. It's important to clarify that vibrational alignment doesn't mean you have to be ecstatic or blissful 24/7, an impossible standard. Life has its ups and downs, and negative emotions are a natural part of our guidance system. They help us identify what we don't want, which in turn clarifies what we do want. The key is to gradually steer yourself towards better feeling states when you notice you're out of tune. Think of your emotions as signals. When you feel good, you're tuned in. When you feel bad, it's like static indicating you're a bit off frequency from what your true self or soul wants for you. One of the simplest ways to enter the vortex of alignment is through appreciation and gratitude, which we'll explore more in the next chapter. Other high vibration emotions include love, joy, enthusiasm, optimism, and contentment. Even calmness or relief, which might not feel exciting, are higher on the emotional scale than despair or anger. So moving yourself from frustration to just feeling a bit more hopeful or at ease is a positive jump in vibration, raising your vibration. So, how do you adjust your inner dial to tune into the frequency of your desires? It starts with finding ways to feel good now, independent of the circumstances. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, you might think you'll feel good after you get what you want. But the paradox of manifesting is that you often need to find the feeling first in order to attract the experience. Think of a time when you were in the zone, perhaps during a hobby, a sport, or just a great day where everything flowed. In that state, you were likely relaxed, present, and engaged with the moment in a positive way. That's vibrational alignment. You can cultivate it by deliberately doing things that uplift you. Listening to music that makes your heart soar, dancing around your living room, taking a walk in nature and soaking in its beauty, meditating to find inner peace, or engaging in creative play. Even simple acts like laughing at a funny video, hugging a pet, or calling a friend who uplifts you can shift your energy markedly. Another powerful method is through visualization combined with emotion. We will dedicate a whole chapter to visualization, but for now, note that it's one of the best ways to generate the feelings of having your desire now. For example, if you desire a new home, spend a few minutes imagining yourself in that space, feeling the security and joy it brings, as if it's already yours. This isn't daydreaming for escapism, it's a method to conjure the genuine feelings of your wish fulfilled, which tunes your vibration to match that reality. Also, be mindful of energy drainers. Just as certain activities lift you up, others might bring you down, be it negative news binges, gossip, cluttered environments, or too little sleep. Raising vibration can also mean gently reducing the things that lower it while increasing the nourishing ones. Exercise, 5-minute vibration boost. Here's a quick practice you can use anytime to lift your energy and enter a more aligned state. 1. Pause and breathe. Find a quiet spot or simply close your eyes where you are. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Do this a few times until you feel your body relax. 2. Recall joy. Bring to mind a memory or a moment when you felt pure joy, love, or peace. It could be anything. A childhood memory of playing carefree, a moment of achievement, or a time you laughed really hard with someone. If a specific memory is hard to recall, imagine a scenario that would make you really happy, like lying on a warm beach or receiving great news. 3. Immerse in the feeling. As you hold that memory or scenario, focus on the good feelings associated with it. What does it feel like in your body? Maybe it's a warm glow in your chest, a lightness in your step, or a smile that naturally comes to your face. Allow that feeling to expand. in your mind, really be in that moment as if it's happening now. Notice any sensory details that enhance it, the sounds, sights, or scents of that happy moment. 4. Amplify gratitude. Now silently say thank you for that feeling. Gratitude for feeling good actually amplifies the good feeling even more. You might even place your hand on your heart as you do this, as a physical reinforcement. 5. Return gently. Take another deep breath and open your eyes. Carry that elevated feeling with you as you go about your next tasks. Even a few minutes of this practice can reset your mood and vibration to a higher setting. Here are some affirmations to affirm your intent to stay in vibrational alignment. You can repeat these or write them down, especially in the morning, to set a positive tone. I prioritize feeling good, knowing it aligns me with my desires. My positive energy attracts positive outcomes. I am in the vortex. I am in sync with the flow of well-being. I tune my thoughts and feelings to the frequency of love and joy. When I feel good, I am allowing my dreams to unfold easily. I'm a magnet for miracles when I'm aligned in spirit. By practicing vibrational alignment, you're doing the equivalent of tuning your inner radio to the station of your dreams. You'll find that not only do you feel better day to day, but life starts to reflect that inner sunshine in external ways. This sets the stage perfectly for the next part of our journey, utilizing gratitude as a powerful catalyst for manifestation. Gratitude, as you'll see, is one of the most direct paths to raising your vibration and affirming trust in the abundant nature of the universe. Let's explore the magic that happens when we count our blessings and celebrate life in the next chapter. The magic of gratitude. On a drizzly afternoon, Marco trudged home with his shoulders slumped and a cloud over his head that matched the grey sky. It had been a terrible week. His car broke down unexpectedly. The job promotion he hoped for went to someone else, and even his close friend had forgotten his birthday. Marco felt like life was just piling on misfortunes. As he cut through the local park, lost in his gloomy thoughts, he nearly bumped into an elderly woman sitting on a bench. She had a basket of flowers by her side and was watching the rain lightly coat the petals. "Pardon me?" Marco mumbled. The woman looked up and gave him a warm smile. Her eyes sparkled kindly. "You seem troubled, young man," she said softly. Normally, Marco would brush off a stranger's comment, but something in her voice invited him to sit down. With a heavy sigh, he found himself unloading his recent woes. The old woman listened patiently, then reached into her basket and pulled out a smooth, round pebble. "This is a gratitude stone," she said, placing it into Marco's hand. The stone was surprisingly warm. Marco raised an eyebrow, a bit skeptical. "Gratitude stone?" he repeated. She nodded. "Yes, I've found that whenever I feel life is hard, focusing on even the smallest blessings turns things around. This stone helps me remember. Every night I hold it and think of the best thing that happened that day, and I say, thank you. It works wonders." Marco was polite but unconvinced. Seeing his doubt, she gently folded his fingers over the stone. "Try it for a week. What do you have to lose?" she winked. He thanked her and pocketed the stone, bidding goodbye. That night, Marco tossed in bed, still upset about his week. His hand bumped the pebble in his pocket. Sighing, he took it out. It seemed silly, but he decided to give it a go. After all, the old woman had been kind. He searched his mind for something, anything, good about the day. It was hard at first, but then he remembered that amid all his troubles, an old college friend had unexpectedly called him just to catch up. That had felt nice. "I'm thankful that I got to talk to my friend today," he murmured, holding the stone. It felt a bit comforting in his palm. He wasn't sure if it would work in any way, but he did feel a tiny drop of warmth in his chest from that appreciation. The next morning, Marco woke up feeling a little lighter. Over the week, he continued the ritual each night. Some days it was a big thing. "Thank you for the delicious dinner with my sister." Other days, a small thing. "I'm grateful the sun peeked out in the afternoon." With each passing day, he noticed a subtle change in himself. He began looking for good things during the day, knowing he'd need to recall one at night. He realized he was paying more attention to small kindnesses and moments of beauty. A couple of weeks later, Marco ran into the same elderly woman at the grocery store. He eagerly told her how his mood had lifted since he started using the gratitude stone. She just smiled knowingly. "Wonderful, dear. Keep it up, and life will keep surprising you." Indeed, life did surprise him. He found that people around him responded differently as his own attitude changed. His friend who forgot his birthday invited him out for a belated celebration, apologizing sincerely. At work, even though he missed that one promotion, he started to notice other opportunities he had overlooked, like a project that could expand his skills. He thanked his boss for the learning opportunity, and his boss in turn began to mentor him more. By the end of the month, Marco felt happier than he had in a long time, despite the fact that not everything in life was perfect. The car still needed repairs and he was still in the same job position. What had changed was his perspective. He saw blessings where before he saw none. It felt like he had discovered a secret, one that transformed how the world appeared, almost as if by magic. Counting blessings to multiply them. What Marco experienced firsthand is often described as the magic of gratitude. While the gratitude stone itself wasn't truly magic, the act of focusing on things to be thankful for had a profound effect. Gratitude is like a golden key that can unlock the door to a fuller, more joyful life. It may not change events overnight, but it changes you, and that, in turn, can change how those events unfold and how you perceive them. When you cultivate gratitude, you shift your focus from what is missing or going wrong to what is present and going right. This change in focus often reveals that life is not as barren as it might feel in moments of despair. There are always seeds of goodness waiting for our attention so they can grow. From a manifestation standpoint, gratitude is powerful because it aligns your energy with abundance rather than lack. Think about it. When you say thank you for something, you are acknowledging the presence of that good in your life. It's an affirmation that I have. In the language of the universe, I have tends to attract more of the thing, whereas dwelling on what you lack sends a signal of not enough, which can perpetuate the feeling of scarcity. This is why many law of attraction teachings emphasize gratitude as a daily practice. It's like sending out a signal that says, I'm thankful for all I have and welcome more of these blessings. Moreover, gratitude has a way of softening resistance. It's hard to feel fear or anger in the same moment you're deeply appreciative. In those moments of gratitude, you become more allowing for good to flow in. Scientifically, the effects of gratitude are well documented. Positive psychology research shows that people who regularly practice gratitude, for example by writing down things they're thankful for each day, tend to experience better moods, reduced stress, improved relationships, and even better sleep. Gratitude encourages your brain to notice the positives, similar to how we discussed the RAS earlier. Over time, this can literally rewire your brain to be more optimistic and resilient. So, beyond any spiritual concept of attracting blessings, there's a very real psychological benefit. You train yourself to see opportunities and silver linings where you once saw obstacles, making gratitude a habit. To harness the transformative power of gratitude, it helps to make it a conscious habit. Just like Marco started looking for positives in his day because he knew he'd reflect on them later, you can incorporate simple gratitude practices into your routine until they become second nature. Here are some approaches to consider. Morning gratitude. Start your day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as basic as a good night's sleep, a roof over your head, or the coffee you're about to enjoy. This primes your mind to look for good as you move through the day. Gratitude journal. Keep a journal where each day you write down 5 to 10 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be grand events. In fact, noticing small blessings, a smile from a stranger, a pretty sunset, a task completed, is powerful because life is made up of these small moments. Gratitude. Stone or token. Like the story, carry a small object, stone, coin, charm in your pocket. Each time you touch it, let it be a reminder to pause and think of something you're thankful for in that moment. Thank you. Notes. Express your appreciation to others. Write a thank you email or text to someone who has helped you or brightened your life. The act of expressing gratitude to others not only makes them feel good, it reinforces your own feelings of gratitude and connection. Evening reflection. Before bed, mentally review your day and pick out at least one highlight or positive thing that happened, no matter how small. Dwell on it for a moment and say, thank you, to yourself, the universe, or a higher power according to your beliefs for that moment. This helps you go to sleep with a heart full of appreciation. As you integrate these practices, consistency is more important than length. A few minutes a day can suffice, as long as you truly engage with the feeling of gratitude rather than just listing things off mechanically. Quality over quantity. It's the emotion behind the gratitude that does the magic. When you say thank you and really feel it, you're like a magnet charging up with positive energy. Exercise. Gratitude journaling. Challenge. Let's put gratitude into practice right now. If possible, grab a notebook or open a document and do the following. 1. List 10 blessings. Write down 10 things you are grateful for today. They can range from the basics, like your health, your home, to very specific events of the day, a good conversation, a task you completed, a meal you enjoyed. If you struggle to find 10, start with 5 and work your way up. 2. Feel the gratitude. For each item on your list, pause and really reflect on why you're grateful for it. Write a sentence or two about why it enriches your life or how it makes you feel. For example, instead of just, "I'm grateful for my best friend," you might add, "because she always listens to me and makes me laugh, and that support keeps me sane." This step deepens the emotion. 3. Thank you, thank you, thank you. After you've written your list and the reasons, go through each item and either say or think thank you 3 times. Saying it 3 times is a tip from some manifestation practices, emphasizing the thanks and creating a kind of rhythmic sincerity. For instance, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for my best friend and the joy she brings me." It might feel a bit dramatic, but it reinforces the feeling of appreciation. 4. Daily practice. Challenge yourself to do this for the next 7 days in a row. Notice how you feel over the week. Do you sense any shifts in your mood or outlook? Often after a week of this, people find they are smiling more or worrying a bit less because their mind is continually reinforced with what's going right. Gratitude can also be reinforced with affirmations that remind you of the abundant and positive nature of life. Here are some affirmations centered on gratitude. "I am grateful for all that I have, and I attract even more blessings into my life. Every day I find new reasons to be thankful. My heart is continually overflowing with appreciation. I welcome each day with gratitude and a positive outlook. In challenges, I am thankful for the lessons and growth they bring. Gratitude is my natural state of being, and it opens the door to miracles." As you embrace gratitude, you may notice what felt like ordinary moments take on a new shimmer of miracle. Life, with all its imperfections, begins to feel more supportive and rich. This attitude of thankfulness directly feeds into your manifesting power. When you're grateful, you're confident in the goodness of life, and thus you become a magnet for more good. Now, with a heart brimming with appreciation and an energy tuned to abundance, you're well prepared for the next steps in manifestation. In the upcoming chapter, we'll delve into the creative power of your imagination, how visualizing and mentally rehearsing your desires can bring them into reality with greater speed and clarity. Creative visualization, imagining your reality into being. At the edge of a quiet running track in the early dawn, Nina sat with her eyes closed. The chilly morning air was still, and the only sound was her calm, measured breathing. In her mind, she heard the starter pistol crack through the silence and felt herself surge forward. She wasn't actually running. Nina was seated on a bench. But inside her mental theatre, she was racing down the track with powerful strides. She felt the burn in her muscles, heard the cheer of an imaginary crowd, and saw herself crossing the finish line, the first to break the tape. A smile curled on her lips as she finished the race in her mind. Nina was a competitive sprinter recovering from an ankle injury. Unable to train physically for a few weeks, she turned to visualization to keep her mind and body primed. Every morning, she mentally rehearsed her races in vivid detail. The sound of her shoes on the track, the pumping of her arms, the exhilaration of pulling ahead. Her coach had taught her that the brain can hardly tell the difference between a real experience and an intensely imagined one. Neurons fire in similar patterns, training her muscles and mind together. At first, Nina felt restless doing this exercise. She worried it wasn't real training, but as days passed, she noticed when she did test runs, she hadn't lost much sharpness at all. In fact, she felt even more confident, as if she had already run and won these races many times. Weeks later, back on her feet, Nina entered her first competition post-injury. At the starting block, instead of anxiety, she felt a sense of déjà vu calm. She'd been here in her mind countless times. The pistol fired, and her body responded almost automatically, powerful and fluid. When she crossed the finish line, she looked up at the scoreboard and saw a new personal record. She had run faster than ever before and clinched first place. Overwhelmed with emotion, Nina realized that those mornings of imagination had paid off. She had paved the way in her mind, and now it was reality. Her story spread among her teammates, and soon many of them started their own visualization practices, eager to tap into this inner power. The mind's eye, your inner creation studio visualization, is often described as mental rehearsal or imagination practice. It's the act of creating a clear, detailed picture of a desired outcome in your mind and experiencing it with all your senses. What Nina's example shows us is that visualization is not just a fanciful daydream. It's a tool used by athletes, performers, astronauts, and high achievers in all fields to enhance performance and manifest goals. When you vividly imagine something, you engage many of the same neural pathways that you do when you actually perform the action. This primes your brain and body to believe this is possible and this is familiar. So when the time comes to make it real, it's as if you've already been there. In the realm of manifestation, creative visualization goes a step further. It's not only about practicing skills, but also about attracting the circumstances that match the vision you hold. By focusing your mental and emotional energy on a scenario, you are essentially broadcasting a request to the universe. Remember the idea of vibrations and frequencies. When you visualize with strong emotion, you elevate your vibration to match the feeling of that imagined reality. For instance, visualizing yourself thriving in your dream career while feeling the excitement and fulfillment of it helps align you energetically with that outcome. It's like you're painting a target on the map of the quantum field and saying, "This is where I'm headed." The clearer and more vibrant the paint, your vision, the easier it is for the universe to see it and guide you there. Additionally, by envisioning positive outcomes, you train your subconscious to look for opportunities and solutions that you might otherwise overlook if you're consumed by doubt or unclear desires. How to visualize effectively. Some people worry, "But I'm not good at seeing images in my mind." Fear not. Visualization is a skill that improves with practice, and it's not strictly about the visual sense. It can involve sounds, feelings, even scents or tastes. Some people feel things more than see them. You might just get a vague impression or a sense of knowing. That's fine. The key is to engage your mind in the scenario as fully as you can, and importantly, to generate the positive emotions that come with it. Here's how to strengthen your visualization practice. Start relaxed. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. When you're relaxed, your brainwaves slow down, entering a state similar to meditation or the moments before sleep, known as alpha or theta state, which is ideal for imprinting images on the subconscious. Set a clear intention. Decide what you want to visualize. It could be a specific event, like giving a successful presentation, a general life scenario, like living in your dream home, or even a day in your ideal life. Be specific, but also feel free to let inspiring details arise as you go. Engage all senses. In your mind's eye, start painting the scene. What do you see? Make the colors, shapes, and environment as vivid as possible. Then add sound, maybe the murmur of an audience or the sound of the ocean outside your dream home or laughter of loved ones. Next, notice any scents, the fresh paint of a new office, salty air, delicious food. Then, textures and sensations. The feel of a handshake congratulating you, the warmth of sun on your skin, the touch of a soft couch in your new home. Finally, and most importantly, emotion. How do you feel in this scenario? Safe, proud, excited, peaceful. Let those good feelings wash over you and amplify them. Stay in the moment. As you visualize, try to experience it as happening now, not as a distant wish. Immerse yourself in it for a few minutes. You might naturally find yourself smiling or your heart beating faster if you're really into it. That's a great sign that you're truly feeling it. Repeat regularly. Consistency helps. Even 5-10 minutes a day of visualization can keep your goals fresh in your mind and strengthen your belief in them. Some like to do it first thing upon waking or at night before sleep, when the mind is most receptive. Others do a quick session during lunch or whenever they need a boost of motivation. One tip. If at first you find it hard to visualize a completely new reality for yourself, start with embellishing a familiar scene. For example, if you find it difficult to imagine a new dream job, picture yourself at your current workplace but see it morphing positively. Friendly co-workers, a surprise promotion letter on your desk, etc. Then gradually transition into imagining an even better scenario. This can bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, making it more believable for your mind. Tools to support visualization. While the practice primarily happens in your mind, some external tools can help spark your imagination. In Vision Board. Create a collage of images and words that represent your goals and ideal life. This could be on poster board or a digital Pinterest board. Looking at these images daily can reinforce your mental pictures. Guided visualizations. There are many audio recordings available where a narrator guides you through a scenario, like walking on a beach, meeting your future self, etc. These can be helpful if you find it easier to be led than to self-direct at first. Scripting. This is writing out your vision as a story, as if writing in a journal in the future. For instance, I am so happy and grateful now that I am celebrating the launch of my own business. Write in present tense, describing all that you envision in detail. This writing process can make the visualization very concrete and is a powerful manifesting technique on its own. Draw or create. If you're artistic, sketch scenes from your envisioned life, or use any creative medium, even making a mock-up of a check you want to receive, which is what actor Jim Carrey famously did. The act of creation in the physical world can reinforce the mental creation. Exercise your future movie scene. Now let's do a simple visualization exercise to lock in one of your desires. 1. Choose a desire. Pick one specific goal or situation you want to manifest. Something meaningful, but also something you can really imagine enjoying. 2. Set the stage. Close your eyes and imagine a scene in the future where this goal has already been achieved. If it's a goal like a new job, maybe the scene is your first day at that job, or a celebration dinner with friends about your new role. If it's better health, imagine doing something that proves your vitality, like hiking a mountain or playing with your kids pain-free. If it's finding love, picture a joyful moment with your ideal partner. 3. Roll the movie. Now play out a short movie in your mind of that scene. Keep it to maybe a minute or 2 long scene so it's manageable. See the details. Who is there? What are you doing or saying? Hear anyone congratulating you or expressing happiness with you. Feel the pride, love, or whatever emotions come naturally in that situation. Really let the scene unfold in a fun way. And don't worry about getting every detail perfect. Focus on the positive feelings. 4. Anchor it. When the scene feels complete, take a deep breath and mentally say something like, "This is my reality now. Thank you." This little statement is a signal of closure and belief. It's like hitting save on that mental file. 5. Revisit often. You can come back to this same scene daily or whenever you think of your goal. Replaying it strengthens the neural and emotional pathways associated with it. You can also modify or extend it as it becomes easier to imagine. To reinforce the power of your imagination, you can use these affirmations. My imagination is powerful and creates wonderful experiences for me. I visualize my goals with clarity and feel them coming true. The pictures in my mind are manifesting into reality. I can see and feel my future success, and it feels real and exciting. Every day, my visions become more vivid and believable. I trust the images my intuition gives me. They are guiding me to my dreams. By harnessing creative visualization, you're engaging in conscious creation. You're training your inner eye on what you want to see, so that it eventually becomes what you do see in the outer world. This inner work makes the outer work much more effective, because you're aligned, focused, and energized by a clear vision. Now that you have envisioned your dreams, the next step is to truly embody them, living as if they are already true. In the following chapter, we'll explore how to step into the shoes of your future self and act from that place of confidence and knowing, bringing you even closer to manifesting your desires. Embodying future realities. Every lunch hour, Alicia would slip away to a quiet corner of the company courtyard with her notebook. She had been an assistant in the marketing department for 3 years, and while she had bigger ambitions, her timid nature kept her in the background. One day, a mentor gave her a challenge: start acting like the position you want, not the one you have. So during her lunches, Alicia began scripting in her notebook what her day would look like if she were already the marketing manager, the role she dreamed of. She described how she would lead meetings confidently, brainstorm creative campaigns, and mentor junior staff. She even doodled a nameplate with her name and marketing manager beneath it. As the weeks went by, Alicia slowly started to embody that vision in small ways. She began dressing a bit more professionally, choosing outfits that made her feel like a leader. She started arriving a little early and greeting her team with a cheerful confidence. In meetings, instead of staying silent, She voiced her ideas and insights as if it was expected of her. At first, she felt like an imposter, her heart pounding whenever she spoke up, but she recalled her mentor's words and continued the experiment. She volunteered to take on more responsibility, handling tasks her manager typically would, and did them with care and creativity. Her colleagues noticed the change. One even commented, "You carry yourself differently these days, like you own the place in a good way." Alicia simply smiled, knowing she was practicing owning her future role. Over a few months, things shifted. A senior manager took note of Alicia's initiative and began to trust her with key projects. When a supervisor position opened up, a stepping stone to the manager role, Alicia was encouraged to apply. She nailed the interview, partly because she spoke as if she had been doing parts of that job already, which, in effect, she had. She talked about her leadership experiences, the small ones she'd created for herself, and her vision for the team. It was clear to the interviewers that Alicia didn't just have potential, she was already walking the walk. She got the promotion. As she cleared her assistant desk to move into her new office, she found that old notebook. Flipping through it, she realized many of the pretend scenarios she wrote about had begun to happen in real life. Alicia smiled and placed it next to her new nameplate in her office, the one with marketing manager boldly etched below her name. Living as if. Alicia's story demonstrates a cornerstone of manifestation, embodying your desired reality before it fully arrives. This means thinking, feeling, and acting as if you already are the person you want to become or already have the things you desire. It might feel like play acting at first, but it's a very potent form of signaling to yourself and the universe, "This is who I am now." There is truth in the saying, "Fake it till you make it," but perhaps it's better phrased as "be it to become it." When you embody your future self, you're not faking your skills or deceiving anyone. You're stepping into a version of you that you know exists deep down and letting that version shine through today. Why is this so powerful? On an energetic level, it's like completing the circuit. You've visualized your dream, the blueprint in the mind. You've aligned your feelings, the vibration in the heart. And now, through embodiment, you align your actions and behaviors, the physical expression. When all three are in sync, thought, feeling, action, you become an unstoppable magnet for your desired reality. You're essentially living on the wavelength of your goal, so life has a way of catching up to that frequency. Opportunities, people, and circumstances that match your future you start to appear, almost as if you stepped into a new timeline. There's also a psychological aspect. By behaving differently, you change how others respond to you and how you see yourself. Alicia's colleagues responded to her new confident demeanor, which created a positive feedback loop that reinforced her confidence. Similarly, if you start treating yourself as valuable and successful, others will pick up on that vibe and treat you with more respect and offer more opportunities. It's not magic in the sense of defying logic, it's cause and effect. You show up differently, and so does the world around you. Stepping into your future self. To embody your desired reality, you first need a clear picture of who that future self is. We touched on this with visualization. Now, it's about bringing elements of that into your daily reality. Ask yourself, How would I carry myself if I already achieved my goal? What habits would I have? How would I talk, think, or make decisions? You might find that your future self wakes up earlier to meditate, or speaks more kindly yet firmly, or keeps their living space more organized, or networks with people in their field. Start integrating those habits or behaviors now, one by one. A few tips to help you embody your future self. Dress the part. Clothing influences mood and confidence. If your future self is a successful entrepreneur, maybe wear something that makes you feel like a boss. If future you is fit and active, invest in comfortable workout clothes now and wear them often to encourage activity. Mind your language. Listen to how you speak to yourself and others. If you often say, "I can't," or "I'm always so negative" trait, shift that narrative. Speak as your empowered self. For example, "I'm learning to," or "I handle challenges with calm and confidence." Even in casual conversation, notice if future you perhaps speaks more about ideas and solutions rather than complaints. Adopt the posture. There's a physical component to embodying confidence and success. Stand a bit taller, shoulders back, make eye contact. It's been shown that adopting a powerful posture can actually increase feelings of confidence internally. Our mind often follows our body's lead and vice versa. Make decisions from the future. When faced with a choice, think, what would my successful, healthy/happier self choose in this moment? And then do your best to choose accordingly. This might mean opting to go to the gym versus watching TV, or connecting with a mentor instead of doubting your next career move. Surround yourself accordingly. If possible, place yourself in environments your future self would be in. Want to be an artist? Start attending gallery events or join an art class to be around peers. Want to be wealthy? Educate yourself on finance, go to places that inspire you, even if it's just visiting a beautiful hotel lobby to sit and soak in the ambience. You can physically put yourself in settings that match your desired lifestyle to normalize it for yourself. Remember, embodiment is not about being inauthentic. It's about calling forth the most authentic, empowered version of you that perhaps has been waiting behind the curtains for permission to step on stage. By giving yourself that permission now, you accelerate the arrival of external success and change. Exercise. Connect with your future self. This exercise will help you clarify and embody the qualities of your future self. 1. Envision future. You. Close your eyes and imagine a version of you 5 or 10 years down the line, who has achieved many of your current goals and is living a fulfilled life. Observe this future you going about their day. How do they behave? What routines do they have? How do they interact with others? What energy do they give off? 2. Write a letter as future you. Now grab a pen and paper. Write a letter from future you to your present self. In this letter, have future you describe what their life is like and give advice and encouragement to you. They might say, for example, "I start each day with a run by the beach and it clears my mind. I'm so glad you kept going even when things were tough because it all worked out. Here's what you need to know." This not only solidifies the vision of who you become, but also gives you guidance on how to get there from your own deep wisdom. 3. Identify one action. From that letter or envisioning, pick one behavior or habit of future you that you can start doing this week. just one to start. It could be something like future me is very knowledgeable about industry trends, so I'll spend 15 minutes each morning reading relevant news, or future me keeps a tidy, beautiful home, so I'll declutter one room this weekend. No matter how small, when you do it with the mindset that you are already that future self. For instance, tidy your home as if it's the beautiful space you envision, or write that report as if you're already the team leader. 4. Rinse and repeat. Once that new action becomes comfortable, go back to your vision and choose another thing to implement. Over time, you'll layer on more aspects of your future self. You might be amazed how much you can transform in just a few months of this practice. To further align your identity with your desired reality, use affirmations that assert your new self-concept. Customize them as needed, but here are some starters. I'm becoming the person I aspire to be, and I love who I am becoming. I act with confidence and purpose, knowing I am worthy of my dreams. Every day, I am more and more the successful, or insert desired trait, version of myself. I already have everything I need within me to live my ideal life. I step into my future now with courage and conviction. I am calm, strong, creative, etc. Fill in with qualities you desire, and I make choices as my highest self. By embodying your future realities in the present, you collapse the distance between here and there. You start living your life as the protagonist of your story, rather than a spectator waiting for things to change. This not only accelerates the arrival of your goals, but it also makes the journey so much more enriching. You get to feel some of the joy and confidence now, rather than postponing it. With this principle in action, most of the groundwork of manifestation is laid. The final piece of the puzzle is learning to trust the process and let go of the obsessive need to control the outcome. In the next chapter, we'll explore the art of surrender, how releasing attachment can be the very thing that brings your desires to fruition. Trust and letting go. In a sunlit meadow filled with wildflowers, a young boy named Kai chased after a brilliant blue butterfly. Its wings fluttered like tiny sailboats on the breeze. Kai ran and ran, arms outstretched with a net, determined to catch a closer look at its beauty. But the more he chased, the more the butterfly darted out of reach, always a few steps ahead. Finally, out of breath, Kai plopped down on the soft grass, frustrated and defeated. An old gardener who had been tending the flowers nearby saw the whole thing and ambled over with a kind smile. He gently sat next to Kai and asked, "Why so glum?" Kai pouted, "I just wanted to hold it for a second, but it hates me or something. It keeps flying away." The gardener chuckled softly. "Butterflies don't hate, my boy, but they are free spirits. Sometimes wanting something too hard can scare it away." He reached out and plucked a small bloom, handing it to Kai. "Here, hold this flower and just sit quietly. Watch, don't chase." Though skeptical, Kai did as told. He held the little flower gently and sat still. Minutes passed. He watched bees buzz and the wind sway the grass. He began to relax, even hum a little tune. Then, like a tiny miracle, the blue butterfly returned. It danced around the flower in Kai's hand, then landed softly right on his open palm. Kai froze in amazed delight, hardly daring to breathe. The butterfly stayed a moment, as if to greet him, and then as quietly as it came, it lifted off and glided away toward the horizon. "Wow," Kai whispered. The gardener smiled, patting Kai's shoulder. "Remember this, if you chase too hard, you might just chase it away. Sometimes you have to trust and let it come to you." Kai nodded, the wisdom sinking in. As he walked back home, he kept the flower, a reminder of the magic that happened when he finally let go. The art of allowing. In manifestation, after you have set your intentions, aligned your mindset and vibrations, and even taken actions toward your dreams, there comes a pivotal moment where you need to let go. Letting go means releasing excessive attachment to the outcome and trusting that things are unfolding in the best possible way. It's about not forcing or chasing your desires, but rather allowing them to come to fruition in their own perfect timing and form. This doesn't mean giving up on what you want. Think of it as the final step of planting a seed. You've prepared the soil, your mind, planted the seed, your intention, watered it, your actions and feelings, and now you must let the sun and earth do their part. You wouldn't dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing. That would disrupt the process. Instead, you step back and trust nature. However, for many of us, letting go can be the hardest part. Why? Because it requires trust. Trust in the unseen, trust in the process, maybe trust in a higher power, or simply in the wisdom of life. Our minds love a sense of control and certainty. When we badly want something, we tend to obsess over when and how it will happen. But this very obsession can introduce tension and resistance. It's like clenching your fist around sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. In energetic terms, desperation or neediness carries a vibration of lack, focusing on the fact you don't have it yet, which can repel the very thing you want or blind you to receiving it. Letting go is often called the art of allowing. You allow the universe to handle the details. You've done your part, now you surrender the rest. This state of surrender is not passive, it's an active choice to have faith. Think of times when something you wanted came to you after you stopped stressing over it. Perhaps you searched frantically for your lost keys, only to find them once you took a break. Or you yearned for a relationship, and it was when you became content being on your own that you met someone special. These are everyday examples of how releasing attachment creates a space for our desires to enter. Trusting the process. Trust is the antidote to fear during the manifesting journey. Trust that your subconscious is working on the goal even when you're not consciously thinking about it. Trust that the universe has received your order and is lining things up. Trust that if something doesn't happen the way you imagined, it's either on its way in a different form or there's something even better coming. This mindset turns waiting into a peaceful expectation rather than anxiety. One helpful practice is to frequently remind yourself, this or something better. When you set an intention, silently add this phrase. It signals flexibility and openness to outcomes that serve your highest good, even if they surprise you. Sometimes we think too small or cling to a specific job or person when life has a much better fit just around the corner. By letting go of how it should come, you let the universe do its magic in arranging the best for you. Another aspect of trust is timing. We often want things on our schedule, but consider that there might be an ideal timing we aren't aware of. Maybe you need to grow in a certain way first, or another piece of the puzzle needs to fall into place elsewhere. Patience truly is a virtue here. It's okay to feel eager, but whenever you sense frustration or impatience, use it as a cue to breathe and reaffirm your trust. Remind yourself of the butterfly. By staying calm and appreciative in the present, you make yourself an inviting place for your dreams to land. How to let go without losing your desire. Letting go doesn't mean you stop wanting your goal or that you drop all effort. It means you emotionally release the anxiety around it. Here are some ways to practice letting go. Detach from the how. Whenever you catch yourself over-planning or overthinking how exactly your desire will come, stop and say, I allow this to unfold in whatever way is best. Focus on the end result and leave the route to get there open. The universe might surprise you with a shortcut or an unforeseen path. Take inspired action, then pause. By all means, take actions toward your goals. Send out that resume, join the dating app, train for the race. But after doing what you can for now, consciously shift your mind elsewhere. Distract yourself with something fun or relaxing. This break in focus is like giving the soil time to rest after watering the seed. Meditation and mindfulness. Practicing meditation can help you train in letting go of thoughts and finding peace in the now. Even a short breathing exercise when you feel obsessive can break the cycle of worry. When you meditate, you strengthen your connection to a calm center that trusts life. Affirm trust. Use affirmations that reinforce your faith in the process. We'll list some shortly. Speaking these can soothe the part of you that wants to micromanage outcomes. Symbolic release. Sometimes a physical act can represent letting go. You might write down your desire or any fears around it on a paper, then burn it safely or tear it up as a ritual of release. Or imagine placing your worry or desire in a helium balloon and watch it float away into the sky, delivering it to the universe. Gratitude for now. Come back to gratitude. See how these principles are all interlinked. When you start stressing about the future, ground yourself in the present by listing things you're grateful for right now. It shifts your energy to contentment, which is a receptive state. The balance to strike is remain positively expectant of your desire, but not anxiously desperate for it. You continue to know it's coming, like a package in the mail that might not be here yet but is on its way. You don't keep checking the mailbox every 5 minutes. You trust it's been sent. Exercise, release, and trust ritual. Try this simple ritual to practice letting go. 1. Write your wish. On a piece of paper, write down a particular desire or goal that you've been holding on to tightly, maybe one you feel anxious or impatient about. 2. Pour your feelings. Below the desire, jot down any fears or controlling thoughts you have around it, e.g., what if it never happens? I need this by July. How will I find the opportunity? Get it all out. 3. Affirm and release. Now write a statement of release and trust. Something like, I now release this desire to the universe. I trust that it's being taken care of in divine timing. I'm open to this or something even better entering my life. all is well. Adjust the wording to what resonates with you. 4. Let it go. Take that paper and perform a letting go action. You could burn it carefully, tear it into tiny pieces and scatter them, or place it in a special trust box or container and close the lid, symbolizing that it's off your mind and in the universe's hands now. 5. Do something enjoyable. After the ritual, consciously do an activity that totally engages you in a positive way. Watch a favorite movie, cook a meal, take a bath, play a game, whatever brings you joy or relaxation. This helps you shift your energy away from the obsession into a state of allowing. Here are some affirmations to nurture trust and ease. I trust the universe is working behind the scenes for me. I release my worries and welcome divine timing. I have done my part. Now I allow the universe to do its part. I am calm and at peace, knowing my desires are being fulfilled. I let go of control and open myself to joyful surprises. I trust that life is unfolding for my highest good. As you practice letting go, you'll likely find a sense of relief washing over you. That relief is the space where miracles often sneak in. By detaching from the outcome, you stop blocking it with doubt or pressure. Instead, you create a welcoming, open atmosphere for your desires to take root and blossom. It may feel paradoxical, but it's one of the beautiful ironies of manifesting. When you no longer need it desperately, you make room to receive it gracefully. You have now traveled through many facets of this journey, from shaping your mindset and emotions to taking action and surrendering. In the concluding section, let's reflect on how far you've come and how to continue integrating these principles as you move forward into your quantum-powered life. Conclusion. Your quantum journey begins anew. You've traveled through a rich landscape of ideas and practices, from the depths of your subconscious mind to the vibrational currents of your emotions, from the vivid imagery of your visions to the grounded actions of your daily life. By now, you've not only learned the principles of quantum mindset mastery, you've experienced many of them firsthand through the exercises and reflections. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for this journey. It's no small feat to invest in your own transformation. Each chapter you embraced, each exercise you tried, is a seed of change planted in your life. With care and patience, those seeds will continue to grow in the days and weeks to come. Let's briefly reflect on the path you've walked. You rewrote subconscious beliefs that were not serving you, loosening the ropes that once held you back. You learned to love and accept yourself more through mirror work, strengthening the foundation for all that you will create. You practiced directing your focus, understanding the observer effect, that what you pay attention to expands in your reality. You tuned into vibrational alignment, learning to raise your energy and step into the vortex of allowing your desires. You discovered the magic of gratitude, shifting your mindset to abundance and opening the flow for more blessings. You honed the skill of creative visualization, painting your reality with the brush of your imagination and feeling it into being. You began embodying your future self, living as if your dreams are already true, and in doing so, drawing them ever closer. And finally, you embraced trust and letting go, surrendering the how and when to the wisdom of the universe while keeping your faith strong. These themes are all interwoven, Together they form a powerful mindset, a new way of being. This quantum mindset is not something you do once and then forget. It's a living practice. Life will continue to present new dreams and occasionally new challenges, but now you have a toolbox of spiritual and practical techniques to navigate anything. Whenever you feel off course, remember that you can come back to these basics. Center yourself, adjust your thoughts, elevate your feelings, reaffirm your vision, act with intention, and then let go and trust again. Each time you do, you'll realign with the creative force inside you. Transformation is not always a linear path. Be gentle with yourself moving forward. Some days you'll feel like you've truly mastered your mindset. Other days, old habits or doubts might resurface. That's okay. Progress is often 2 steps forward, 1 step back. What matters is that now you know the way. You can recognize when you're out of alignment and have the tools to guide yourself back. Over time, the periods of alignment will grow longer and the bouts of doubt shorter and less intense. Your reality will begin to reflect your inner changes more and more clearly, perhaps in obvious big wins or in subtle yet meaningful improvements to your well-being and synchronicities that confirm you're on the right track. As you venture forth, keep your sense of wonder alive. The term quantum hints at the amazing truth that life can change in an instant, sometimes in exponential, unpredictable ways. Stay open to miracles and unexpected breakthroughs. Maintain a playful curiosity. What great things might happen if I keep my energy high and my beliefs aligned today? How will the universe surprise me next? With this mindset, manifesting becomes a joyful game rather than a strenuous effort. Finally, remember that you are the author of your story. The pen has been in your hand all along. This book didn't give you power. It simply showed you the power you already have. You are a vibrational being capable of tuning yourself to any reality you choose. You are a thinker whose thoughts shape your world. You are a dreamer whose dreams usher in new creations. And you are a soul guided by love and wisdom, ever evolving toward your highest potential. Believe in yourself as the universe believes in you. As you close these pages and step back into the flow of your life, carry this knowledge and these practices with you. Use them, cherish them, and share them with others who may need a guiding light. Every positive change you make within ripples outward. By mastering your own mindset, you also uplift those around you by example and energy. This journey of quantum mindset mastery is truly just the beginning. Your ability to manifest anything is now accelerated because you have accelerated into a wiser, more intentional, and more empowered version of yourself. So go forth and manifest your dreams. Trust the process, enjoy the journey, and never stop growing. The field of infinite possibilities is wide open to you. With your mind, heart, and spirit in harmony, there is truly no limit to what you can create. Welcome to your new reality, one where you are the conscious creator, and every day is an opportunity to design a life you love. Thank you for embarking on this journey. May your quantum mindset continue to serve you and light your path ahead.